What's up, Singapore? Man, I forgot my name. No, I'm playing. Um, Rasathi out here in Singapore. It's been a very long night. Was up most of the night doing work and yeah, slept for maybe a couple hours. Got up again and kind of half awake, half asleep, I guess. I don't know. Kind of in a weird mood, but I want to jump on here and talk to you about something that I've been contemplating lately. I've been telling, people for years now, the reason I even started this coaching business in the first place is because I've been through therapy. I've been through therapy, and as much as they told me that, I was very clear, I understood what was going on, I was able to give them my side of the story and put myself in the other person's shoes and understand where they were coming from. I don't know. Essentially, they told me that I didn't need therapy because I was very, very self aware. But I wanted to let you know being self aware is only half the battle. Knowing that you have a problem, knowing where the problem exists, knowing that the other person has their own set of, issues that they're dealing with, and that probably, was the reason that they responded to you the way that they did or behaved with you the way that they did that upset you or whatever. Knowing that stuff is only half the battle. The other half, the more complicated half, is getting to a place in your own body, in your own mind, where if that same thing were to happen again, it wouldn't break you into a million pieces. It wouldn't leave you crying on the bathroom floor somewhere. It wouldn't leave you just picking at your own dignity and self-worth because you're not sure if you're worth anything because of the way that they behaved. That's the hard part of the battle. So knowing that there is a problem and doing something about it, completely different concepts. Knowing that there is a situation that upsets you to no end and figuring out how to heal so that if it were to happen again, it never will hurt you again, that's a completely different situation. And I need you guys to understand that because that's where my coaching comes into play. This is why I do what I do. Because I want to make sure that if you find yourself in front of somebody who resembles a perpetrator in your life, somebody who resembles someone who was abusive in your life, or someone who assaulted you, someone who maybe was a bully in your life, if you come into contact with someone who even reminds you slightly of that person, you won't fall apart. You won't go back into shrink and, flight mode because you don't want to deal with that person again. You know how to set the boundaries that you needed to set in the beginning. You know how to tell the person, hey, I'm not cool with you, and then distance yourself effectively enough where it doesn't change into some kind of a scene out of a movie where they're going to chase you down and scare you to death or whatever. Like, you know how to do those things for yourself. And obviously, the first couple times, you're going to tell me about them because it's still happening in your life as a coach and a mentee situation. But eventually, with enough practice, eventually, with you finding out what works best for you using whatever coping mechanisms that you need to, or figuring out what you need to do in order for you to maintain your peace and your balance. Once you figure that out, sky's the limit for you. It means that nothing around you can bother you the way that they used to. Nothing around you could like break you down and have you stuck in life. You would be okay. You'd be able to stand up to those people. You'd be able to say what you need to say. You'd be able to go on your merry way and leave them behind and not feel guilty, not feel bad or shameful. You could actually move on with your life and it would be all right. And that is the whole goal of me coaching. I want you to know, like I want my daughter to know, hey, things happen in life. People will use different mechanisms to cope in their lives, and their coping mechanisms may affect you. That's okay. It's normal. What's not okay is you thinking you have no choice but to take it. What's not okay is you feeling like, you know what, if all these people keep saying the same thing to me over and over again, maybe my life is not worth living, I should end it. That's not okay. You feeling like you have no options and no choices, that's not okay. I'm here to teach you to find opportunity no matter where you are, to find ways and means to make yourself happy. The little moments, the little things. They say don't sweat the small things, correct? I want you to be able to see small places, small pockets of room where you can fill them with joy. Maybe you have a job you don't love so much, but maybe you have some people around you while you're at that job that you do enjoy their company. And so you find ways throughout the day to break up the monotony with these little pieces of joy, and you are able to thrive, even though you don't have the best set of circumstances, not the most ideal set of circumstances. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like there's opportunity around you, rather than this hopeless, I'm alone feeling that gets you to a place where you have nothing but desperation and frustration and you just want to end everything. You guys, let's be serious for a moment. Men suicide rates are on the rise. Men under the age of 49. That's a big demographic considering all the millennials, right? This is not okay. Back in the day, they used to say, "Oh, rub some dirt in it, suck it up, be a man, blah, blah, blah. You should be stronger than that." Okay, that's all well and good, but you're not showing me how to man up. You're not showing me how to be stronger in those situations. You're not teaching me what I need to do to figure out how to overcome these insults, these injuries, these traumas that happen daily. What people seem to forget is we become a product of the system. We have these big hopes, these big dreams, these wide eyes, and these stars in our eyes. We want big things. We want new things. We want different. We want to create solutions for ourselves. And that's great. But what happens? You try one time and something doesn't work out. And because you're not resilient, because no one has taught you how to be resilient, you break a little on that first failure. And then it takes you, I don't know, a long while to get back on the horse and try it again. Because what happens? The people around you are saying, "Oh, we told you not to try. We told you it would fail." And then once you fail, they're like, "See, we told you. We told you. You knew this was going to happen. The only tried and true way is to do what we're doing. We're sheep. We're following the system. We're getting a job. We're doing what we were told to do. And it works." Why? Because the system is created that way, to sustain that way. They need us in the system for the system to work. So what happens? You go a couple years in a job that you really hate, you find yourself frustrated again, they call it a midlife crisis, and you go out and you do the things that make you happy, and suddenly, because you didn't plan for them very well and you didn't know what you were getting into, you didn't research what it would take to actually maintain the changes that you're about to make in your lifestyle, and suddenly people are like, "Ooh, see, he's lost his mind, he was in a midlife crisis, and you know what, he bought that car and he bought these things and he changed everything, and suddenly he's in debt, he can't do it, he got to go back to the grindstone, he got to go back in the rat race." It happens. They push you and they push you and they push you because you're breaking a pattern. And when you break the pattern has no choice but to try and force you back into it so that it can continue, so that it still makes sense to everybody else. What's the last thing that people want? The last thing people want is to feel like they're not doing good enough. So when you have someone that breaks a pattern and challenges the system and shows you, hey, there's a different way, suddenly you question yourself, yeah, but does that make me weak? Does that make me stupid? Does that make me terrible for not doing the things that this new guy is doing? Nah. You know what? I'm going to show him how the system works. I'm going to show him that, nope, what he's doing is wrong and what I'm doing is right. But what if the conversation wasn't about you being right and him being wrong? What if you could both be right, doing your own thing, your own way, and neither one of them looks the same? Maybe when you walk, you turn your toe in a little bit and you walk, but you know what? Your body is carried forward and you get to where you need to go. And maybe I have a knee injury, and so I stick my leg out a little bit different in the mornings when I walk until my leg gets comfortable with the way, the blood flow in the morning. And so I walk differently than you do, but guess what? I still get propelled forward the same way you do, and I still get to my destination the same way you do. But does that make me right and you wrong? Or vice versa? Nah. We still walking. We still moving. We still progressing. It's still forward. So why can't I homeschool my kid versus you put yours in private education and both of us be right? Why can't I decide to cut my hair very, very, very short even while I'm in a very corporate position and I still be beautiful and you still be beautiful with long locks? Why can't I decide to go out in nature and get this fabulous tan of mine because I'm active every day, all day, and I don't need makeup and I feel good about my skin? And even if you do need makeup or if you want to wear makeup, both of us can be beautiful. What does it mean to be judged as a man if you are a little bit more effeminate and you're more in touch with your feelings and you do like talking about your feelings because you feel comfortable about that, but you're completely straight and happy the way that you live your life. Whereas there are still some men out there that feel like, you still got to be competitive and you got to, puff out your chest and swing an axe maybe and all of those things, but you are still a good man. What's the difference between the two of you? Nothing, just your own way. What if as a kid you're very, very shy and introverted? You don't really like interacting with people that much. You want to sit inside and read a book and enjoy the sun on your face as it streams through the window on your window seat as you read. You enjoy yourself. And maybe you draw in the off time when you're not reading, you're drawing. And you're happy that way. You're just quiet and just to yourself and you have your own little world and you're happy. Versus the little kid that's very gregarious and runs up to everyone they meet and is friendly and makes friends everywhere she goes and she's just joyous and happy. What's the difference between those two children? Absolutely nothing except for their own way. They're both healthy. They're both happy. What more could you want for a child? Maybe one doesn't speak as much and one speaks a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe one doesn't learn the same way the other does. There's nothing wrong with that. So why are we hell-bent on teaching people how to do a specific thing a certain way, and only that certain way? Yes, I want to teach self-awareness. I want you to be aware of everything going on around you. But more than that, I want you to figure out for yourself, with my guidance, what works best for you so that you never have to feel those bad emotions again if you don't want to, because you've learned how to deal with them when they come. You've learned how to deal with those emotions when they happen in such a way that you understand what the world is trying to tell you. You understand why it rubs you wrong, and you're able to manage those changes. Knowing and doing are two different things. And the healing part, as Master Kip happily tells us, the healing is actually in the doing. I can tell you all day long I have a really bad temper, because I really do. I can tell you all day long that I don't stand for a lot of rudeness. I hate it when people, take advantage of you. They try to give you excuses for why they didn't do what they said they were going to do. They disappear on you. They ghost on you. They do not manage expectations very well. It drives me nuts. But guess what? If that was the kind of thing that pissed me off and triggered my temper to where I fly off the handle and throw things and break things and say things I can never take back, then knowing about my temper is okay, but I've never done anything about it. I haven't learned how to heal and be balanced no matter what. Oh, trust me, I'd be fuming on the inside. Rage in everything. But I've learned to channel my rage so that it doesn't come out in all the wrong places. I do slip up sometimes. I do yell at my daughter, and I'm a little bit more, short with her when I shouldn't be, because I'm upset about something else that I can't control. But I catch myself and I adjust it and I apologize to her and I keep on going. Knowing you are a victim of sexual abuse, that's a great thing. Knowing that what that person did was wrong, great thing. Understanding and being able to stand your ground, being able to look someone in the eye and tell them, nope, I don't appreciate your energy. I am not interested in being your friend. That is amazing. That is healing. That means you've dealt with all the demons that come with saying that, yes, once upon a time you were a victim, and you will never be a victim again. That healing doesn't mean you put up walls and shut everyone out. That healing means you understand they did what they thought was right at the time with what limited capacity of understanding they had. That person thinks that they were okay with whatever they did. What they don't get to tell you is how it affected you and whether that was okay or not. And they don't get to tell you that, you know what, you should learn from your mistakes and cover up more. You should learn from your mistakes and adjust your behavior to the point that you don't entice anybody else to come after you. That is wrong. It's not about enticing. It's about feeling comfortable in your own body. feeling comfortable about being who you are and telling the world, hey, this is who I am and this is what I like and this is what I do not like. And if you cross me on the side of what I don't like, I am allowed to push you away. I am allowed to tell you, nope, the line is here. I don't want you to cross it. And if they do happen to cross it, you know that you're well within your rights to push harder, to walk away, to put them in their place. But in order to do that, you got to face that darkness again. In order to do that, you need to come face to face with those demons. Because once you do, you tell your story differently. Me, personally, I am young, strong, resilient. I have lived through a great many experiences, none of which I would wish on anyone. But because I've walked through that fire, I know what it's like on your end. And so if I notice you suffering, even if you're not saying it conventionally, I need help. If your face is not as happy as you usually are, if you are acting out of the ordinary because I know you well enough to know what normal is for you, I have every right to step in and say, hey, you good? You seem to be struggling a little bit. You seem to be off a little. How can I help? Do you need to talk? Do you need a hug? So trust me, knowing is one thing. Being resilient, doing something about those traumas so that they don't become traumas again in the future, that's where the healing is. And I want you to know I'm here for you. I'm here to help you with those things. All you got to do is ask. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.